That's the point of marriage, is that both of you better each other and you fulfill a joint purpose.
A Bonnie and Clyde type situation, like where like, as in I get the money, she counts.
I don't think marriage and down and up can even be in the sense.
Yeah, you're meant to be at equal.
Yeah, it's not easy.
I think it's as easy as it makes.
Do you guys always have?
I think it's friends who are involved.
Yeah. Regardless of when she has an attitude, when she doesn't have an attitude, with each other's just trying to compromise as you go along, because that's what makes a marriage successful or a relationship successful.
There's a very weird dynamic where you can become enabling and the person can become complacent.
I think with males as well, a big thing is masculinity. High masculinity, I don't like that.
That whole, okay, the bills come, you pay it all. No, you pay. No, you pay. Welcome to the MoChunks show and welcome to another episode of Why Do We Love Love. So in this episode we're talking about the breadwinner. I'm here with my amazing panelists. You guys like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Eunice. I'm a psychology student.
What's up, people? I'm Abraham, also known as AV Vlogs.
That's the most work on.
You gotta keep the energy running. That's what you gotta do.
I'm Josiah, also known as Mr. 200 meters _ on YouTube and Twitter. I'm a business student.
Hi guys, I'm Angie and I'm a medical biochemist. Wonderful. So guys, it's been a while since we've linked up. Obviously not you, but so we've got a new panelist, so hopefully he brings some energy and flavour to the show. Okay, so the breadwinner. Who do we feel like generally it should be in a relationship, in a marriage, whichever way you view it?
The man.
I think it's changing though.
It's changing?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, like my family's like a matrifocal family, so like my mom is the breadwinner in a sense. So I've been raised. It's not really any set role.
That's interesting. Are you African?
Yeah, I'm Nigerian. Yeah.
Wow. That's not usually what you see in Nigerian house.
Basically, my mom, when she was in education, my dad was provided for everything, and then my dad went into his PhD and everything now. So my mom's literally.
Yeah. Okay.
Without any. I didn't really realise until I actually looked back at it.
Yeah, so it's more like a codependency kind of situation going on based on what's going on in your family life. Yeah. Okay, cool. What about you, Eunice? What do you think?
I understand that traditionally a man is seen as the breadwinner, but I just feel like things are changing now. There's a lot of pressure to get married young. When you get married young, you're not at the stage in life where, sometimes they say, I don't know if you've heard it before, but in Nigerian homes they may say you want to marry somebody that can give you more than what your father can give you. I don't know anybody that is younger than my father that can give me what my father can give me, and I'm not trying to marry into that age range.
What can your father give you? And then I might be able to.
Can you pay my school fees? As I was saying.
Oh God.
Men in our generation, unless they're doing things that we don't understand, cannot
like fraud
necessarily.
Why is it always fraud though? Why can't
a lot of people make moves from this? Yeah.
It might not always be fraud. They could be rap, exactly. They could be musicians. It depends on where they work. But like the general amongst us, they're not really making the money that can put us. Your father can pay your rent just like that. So when you get married, you and your husband probably have to figure out who's going to contribute what to the rent, to the bills. We should start telling ourselves that it is normal for it to be a joint effort.
So it's not by expectancy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Angie, what do you think?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with that. It's just a thing of, especially if it's in a marriage, there's no point sitting on your laurels thinking, okay, this man's going to provide for me, he's going to do this, he's going to do that.
Yeah.
I think you need to be able to provide for yourself before you even get into a marriage to someone.
Yeah.
And then when you're there, it needs to be a thing of teamwork, partnership. That's the point of marriage, is that both of you better each other and you fulfill a joint purpose. So
I feel like I'm going to disagree with all of you. I do believe in the whole building up and when you're young or whatever, and I do agree with you, but before you get into a marriage I believe you should be set in yourself, you should be able to take care of yourself. But I do feel like as time goes on, I personally would like him to provide the most.
So what are you going to be doing with your money?
Getting hair.
Oh my God.
Makeup.
Come on.
Honestly, okay, cool. No, just because of the way I've been brought up, it's like my dad does majority of the stuff in the house. Like he does the bills, he does the mortgage and all of that kind of stuff. And my mom does the food shop, things that I don't want to say that women would normally do. So she looks after the kids, if that makes sense.
So you don't want to say it, but you want to say it.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
There might be times that your mom did majority of the stuff.
Of course, that's what
but you just don't know.
She
So
doesn't be taking
let me
care
tell you,
Yeah.
there's that
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
in
I
African homes where people want the fathers to look like they're the ones providing, but your mother is paying monthly something.
Yeah. No.
I'm not lying.
Yeah.
So I just feel like we should stop telling ourselves these lies because we know now that sometimes our mothers provided, even though we thanked our father for the financial provision. It's high time. I mean, so you're gonna continue with this channel by God's grace, you're gonna blow up. Big time producer, big time everything, big time. You're gonna be a millionaire. So you're just gonna be sitting down with your millions in your bank account, buying leave.
And you probably get
guys, it was just an example, okay? That's not all I'm about. Like, I'm also like a very business-minded kind of person, but I'm talking about in terms of the home, not things that we do maybe outside of it. And I would want us to be, want it to be a thing where we had like joint enterprise, that we call it. So you'd have businesses together, you'd have investments together. So I would ideally, I mean, we'll go as we go along in the chat, we'll talk about it, but I would ideally like to marry somebody that, you know, is a boss as well as I am. So we'd both have a lot of money, but I'd still want him to. Does that make sense?
No.
What if you're in a circumstance that?
Obviously, if things are going on, I would need to step up. But
I think in a situation whereby both of you are earning similar or the same amount of money, not exactly, but roughly in the same range, I think naturally a guy is more likely to just take on more. So they're more likely to maybe pay the more financially weighty bills. So maybe the mortgage, they sort out the mortgage, they sort out majority of the bills. But I think it's unrealistic to think that unless you want to be a kept woman. So if you're working, I think it's unrealistic to think that all of your finance will just be funneled into like essentially just.
So how do you guys feel about like joint accounts and stuff like that?
I don't think it's necessary.
That's lit.
I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's necessary because I think it's messy. In terms of
messy.
In terms of if I look at my account, of course it's not a thing of trust. If I have a joint account with my partner, I trust that whatever they've done, the money is calm. But in terms of me just scheduling, okay, I want to buy this, and I think I've got this in my account. I put my card in, it's like, no, you
but then surely you discussed it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That means every time either one of us needs to make a transaction, I need to be like, yo, honey, I'm about to buy this bag.
What about having a joint account and
your
You can do that, paying home bills from the same pot, cool. But for me personally, just in terms of my thinking, if I know I'm paying, let's say I'm paying light and I'm paying water, cool. I just like to not have to make too many unnecessary conversations.
I want a relationship where like I'm like a Bonnie and Clyde type situation, like where like as in I get the money, she counts it, or she gets the money. Like we have like like I don't want to talk about you paid the phone bill, so I paid the water bill. It's like alright, the bill has to be paid. She pays it. If she wants to pay, I pay. If I want to pay,
I think that
she's gonna get paid.
I think that's like nice and ideal. But no, what I'm saying is like realistically, the conversation is going to be had. It's going to be like, cool, you're paying the mortgage and you stay paying the mortgage. That whole, okay, the bills come, you pay it, I pay. No, you pay. No, you pay.
Nah, she switched it up. No, but I'm saying like for like a date situation. Like who pays for the date? No, who pays for the date? Is it always discussed though? No, but is it always discussed though?
Let me tell you what that's different. A date is
it always discussed?
Isolation. To be honest,
is it always discussed?
Prior to the date, you don't really discuss it.
Is it always, you don't discuss it?
There's definitely either subliminal conversation about I reached for my purse.
Yeah, but you don't discuss
yeah, cool.
Yeah,
or you went down.
For me, you know, like.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm saying there's nothing wrong with that. But you don't get to the at Nando's you pay the thing. You don't get there and be like, yo, you or me. You know who's paying for it.
The same way the bills is what I'm saying.
Let me tell you why it's not the same way, because the bill is not the same way every time.
No, it's really not.
It's really tried it.
No, but
even when you lived in a house with other people, like at uni, oh, were you paying? No, that's not
different.
We're all students, so that's different. I'm saying like, I hopefully want to earn a lot of money. I want my wife to earn a lot of money too. If we're earning a lot of money, if the bill comes in, it's like £100, £500. We will have more than enough to cover it. So she'll be like, and she knows that my money's coming anyway.
We need to discuss it.
Exactly. That's why I feel like the joint account thing is quite a good idea, because I feel like it's something that you both need to put something into like every month or however much you decide within yourself.
It's great that you're gonna have a lot of money, but my dad always says the greater your income, the greater your expenditure. Don't forget
100%.
So you're a multi-millionaire. Your house your mortgage is
100%.
in the millions. Cool. So if you're not your electricity bill is crazy. How you lighting all those there's different compartments to your house.
You don't need a mansion if you're a millionaire.
That's a choice though.
You don't need
you don't need a mansion.
you probably guys get real. If you have $1 million, come on. We all like nice things. This Mo that said right now, Mo is buying weave I can't touch right now, really and truly. So you think now when she blows, she's gonna be like, let me just stay with the same AliExpress vendor. Come on, as long as you can afford it, you will get it.
No. Because if I have £5,000 right now, I probably wouldn't spend it on what I really want. I would invest it into something.
Yeah, and your investments will be bigger as well. So you're going, I earn $1 million. Do you think that the thing is, people that earn $1 million, they don't now play around with doing investments that people that are in the hundreds are making? You got
They could, but then just do loads of them.
Not all the time.
They could just do loads of them.
Yeah.
But that's still more money tied up. If you have 50k, you're probably gonna go into buying houses and stuff. If you have 150k, same thing. If you have 500k, same thing.
It's bigger scale. It's bigger scale.
No, it is more houses. It could just be more volume.
Obviously, there's more propensity to spend if you have more.
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from.
That's subjective to each person. But I know you probably buy a certain.
It's not even about being irresponsible. Do you think Bill Gates lives in the same house now that he did 10 years ago?
It's different.
But he doesn't live in a mansion.
Yeah. No. What clothes does he wear? What clothes does he wear?
Bill Gates' house is one of the most expensive houses. What are you talking about?
Look at what he wears.
What does he wear?
Look at what he wears.
Just because someone is wearing a Bill Gates.
Okay, guys, that's a working class.
How much?
If you earn more money.
Do you think he buys his grey shirt at Ross? Come on, get out of here. He buys that same grey shirt as a Ralph Lauren.
Yeah,
that's the same grey. That's the same grey.
Do you think that he buys his grey shirt doesn't mean cheap grey shirt?
Okay, guys, moving on. Yeah. So, can successful women find love? Is it easy for generally women that are successful, that have a lot of money, to find love?
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I think it's as easy as it may be.
Do you guys always have to?
I think it's different ways.
Everything's coming to pour green tea in his eyes. I think it's easy. It's as easy as you make it. Do you understand?
No, that's different. That's a different answer. You said it's easy.
Because a lot of these days, money would expect the guy to have more money than him. And that's the expectancy.
But that's what you think.
I understand that. Some successful women are not going to be that, but a lot of.
Oprah's husband, her boyfriend is not as successful as she is, and she's okay.
That might be the reason why he's not her husband.
No, she said he's not. No, he's not her husband. She said he's not her husband, or she's not his wife, because she's not ready to become.
What she said.
She knows that when she believes that there are certain things that a wife should do, or there are certain ways a wife should behave, and she knows that as a human being, she's not willing to behave in those ways. Her husband is okay with it, and she does not want to get married and decide that as a wife, I don't want to do the things that I think wives should do. So I'm going to remain a girlfriend, and he's going to remain my boyfriend, and they discuss it, and they're okay with it. It has nothing
for a lot of people, it's literally face value.
And it goes back down to the thing where people think that men always think they should be the financial providers. When men already have that pressure on themselves that, I want to be the richer person, you feel like you can be with a richer woman. And there was a tweet the other day where somebody was tweeting that men think that they can handle financially successful women until they get into a relationship with a woman that's more financially successful with them, and then they realize within themselves that their ego cannot handle it. And then every conversation you think she's throwing is something and she's not saying anything. It's a problem with the man. It doesn't have to do with
I definitely agree with that it might be an insecurity on the guy's part, because I do hear a lot of guys say that they would find it not everyone would admit, but most guys would admit that they would find it intimidating if she was the one that was always paying the bills, if she was the one that was always paying for dates, if she was always.
As much as some males may have a certain insecurity, which I personally feel like they can easily mature from and get over. I think sometimes with women that are successful, and this is kind of like a societal problem in the sense that society almost forces very successful women to take on attributes that are stereotypically masculine. So like you're in a CEO position and you have to act a certain way to be respected. And if anything, you have to emphasize it almost more to really show that, look, I'm not weak. And this is obviously you pushing against a stigma.
But why is that a masculine? Why is that a masculine?
It shouldn't be.
It's just the way it is.
I think the thing about it is we can say why, but at the end of the day, it is how it is. So for right now, we at the same time as we're trying to overcome those things, we have to work through to get successful and then maybe bridge the gap. But my point is, they now bring that type of demeanor into their home, and they don't necessarily know how to to turn it off. Because at the same time, okay, I'm a president of society. I can't think that I come into the MoChunks show and I'm like, Mo, okay, do the light. Mo, you'll just be looking at me like, pardon?
Yeah.
The onus is on each individual within the partnership to be able to adapt depending on how their relationship works.
I feel like, obviously there's an expectancy of men already, like, in society. That's just obviously, like you said, it's always going to be a problem for a man. It takes a lot of humbling to do that. Because because obviously that's, when I look at my family, that's exactly what it is. My dad has to be a very humble guy, has to be very accepting of a lot of things, and has to drop a lot of pride all the time. That's probably the hardest bit. Friends weren't involved, If say a relationship was just
if it was just you and you,
it wouldn't be a problem.
Those moments when you're drinking with your guys and
Yeah,
you're going to
or your girls say, oh, did he buy it? Has he bought you that thing?
And they even go extra and say just the media in general. Because sometimes you have good friends, but the media is telling you, you just see an ad. It's like the way the whole thing is depicted is the man should be providing, and you're like, whoa. And it's just it's these subliminal thoughts that it's just
what you guys are trying to say right now is that you need to be secure within yourself, regardless of what situation you do find yourself financially with your partner. So we're talking about can successful women find love, and just leading up from that, I think we kind of touched up on it already, but can successful women generally be submissive?
So I was gonna go into a point about sometimes it's an emotional thing, like emotional baggage that women bring from relationships. Like not just even past relationships, from the relationship dynamic they've seen between their parents. So if your dad was the financially controlling person and you saw your mother in that relationship be hurt all the time because she was financially successful, as financially successful as your dad, it would just be something at the back of your mind that I need to be rich, I need to be successful, I need to be wealthy. And that's like, do you understand? And you might get into a relationship with a guy that's calm,
and then you start
overdoing it and not realizing that you're taking your daddy issues into your relationship. So
when you say submissive, what do you mean? Like
submissive or subservient?
Definitely not subservient. I feel like subservient is a thing of you have to bend to will. Submissive is like, I have made a decision to trust that your leading will get me where I want to go. And for me personally, being a Christian, it's a thing of, I trust that you are being led by God, and it's not so much I'm trusting you, I'm trusting the God in you.
Submission is also like a two-way thing. I find that a lot of times in this conversation, it's always about can the woman submit or can the woman submit. It's a two-way thing. Like in your relationship, if you feel like your husband is someone that can submit to you, you should. If you don't, and that's something that the two of you need to sit down and discuss and maybe seek counseling over, but submission should be a two-way.
I do think that it is that conscious decision to basically both respect each other's opinions, each other's views, each other's, just trying to compromise as you go along, because that's what makes a marriage successful or a relationship successful.
She shouldn't have to be submissive even if she's rich. Like, they should just learn to respect each other.
Obviously I understand that everyone has these views because they're not Christian, but for me personally, what my views come from is, okay, the verse in the Bible that gets overquoted, I guess, is wives have to submit. But he said, and I think one thing that really stuck out to me is when I was looking at a sermon, it wasn't even about marriage, it was just about how to be cooperative relationships in general. And it was like, if you notice, the way that verse is structured doesn't say, if your husband is nice to you or loves you or treats you right, submit. Your kind of obedience stems from the fact that you're obeying God's will over your life by submitting. That's once you enter into marriage before the eyes of God, you have decided that, God, I'm going to submit to this person because that's what I promised you. That's between you and God. So if you disobey that, you're going against the will of God. And equally, the man's meant to love your wife as Christ loves the church, regardless of when she has an attitude, when she doesn't have an attitude, when she cooks your meal, when she cusses you out. That's what you're called to do. And really and truly, if both parties meet that, there is never really any friction. Obviously, being human beings, there will be times when people are slacking. But the thing of, even just outside of the Christian walk, I guess you could say that people have to compromise. So you can't both be angry at the same time. Anyway,
that's when.
I think if you have God in a relationship, then it eliminates a lot of worldly problems. The fact that you feel like you have to believe in something else to make the relationship work rather
and it sort of goes against your flesh, like what your flesh will tell you to do. Your flesh will tell you no, ignore him for another 2 days. But God is saying to you, no, just apologize for the sake of peace.
Fighting at you,
Just girls' emotions really like to take control, but if God's in control, then everything seems okay.
Eunice let that go.
I thought you lot were going to attack you.
Because he said girls, I was like,
Why do men find it intimidating when they see a successful woman?
Because I think when you're brought up, you're always told to be the man, you're always trying to be shaped. There's always an expectancy of you from when you're a child, basically. And obviously it's a traditional society where the male's supposed to provide, blah, blah, blah. There's lots of different things. You feel like you can't meet that. then it's like, is a girl gonna take it seriously, or can I even handle someone that's better than me? And then it's a threat to your masculinity.
Yeah.
And obviously, but that comes with insecurities within yourself.
Yeah.
If you're someone that cares too much about what the world thinks, then you'll find yourself single.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're someone that obviously, like, touch on the God point, if you're submissive to God and you want what's best for with God in your life,
what aligns with God's will.
yeah, exactly. You might find you just have to just firm it, and then once you firm it once, it then can become a lifestyle where that's just what it is. And
I feel like it's bigger than money as well. Going back to the whole godly thing, like you're both trying to come together as a unit and do something for the kingdom. So if you're achieving that, which is that should be your primary, goal or aim. Yeah. So if you're achieving that, and okay, the finances may not be as ideal as the society would want it to be, then I feel like you're already on the right track, even to more success collectively. So. Yeah.
So Twitter makes it seem as if it's a problem if you don't buy her stuff. Sometimes, like obviously, sometimes it might.
So the whole like materialistic nature of people and.
Yeah. So if he feels like he can provide, he may like think, damn, there's a problem, even when there's not. He doesn't want her to be like richer, like more financially stable, because then there may be a problem in the future. In the future,
it happens to be like peer culture. I think boys face peer culture like differently than girls.
Yeah. I think you are there's inter and there's intra. Is it intra?
Yeah,
intra. I feel like within the male sex, you guys pressure each other a lot.
A lot more pressure. There's a lot more pressure. I think with males as well, like a big thing is masculinity, hyper masculinity. I don't like we fight a lot because we feel like we have to prove something to each other.
Alpha male.
And it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I feel like I should always be educated in every aspect of life. So if I know about what a girl wears in her face, it shouldn't affect and it doesn't affect my masculinity. It doesn't make me feel any less of a man. But for a lot of males, because it's always easier to follow the masses to stand by yourself, then you adopt a mentality that affects a lot of everything you do. And that stems into not being able to be with someone that's better than you.
The next question that I kind of wanted to go through was, how do you feel about marrying up or marrying down for both sexes?
I feel like we should not use either term. Like, there's nothing like marrying down.
Okay, but now that it's being used, baby.
I feel like they're derogatory.
Okay.
To whichever sex you're applying them to. Like, if a woman said I was marrying down to a guy, it would be an insult to him, like a jab at
both
his
ways,
ego.
I think.
But then, you know, if people just think that it's okay, like if a guy is a billionaire and you're like a shop assistant and he marries you, he married down.
Yeah.
Shut up. You don't know what she does for him.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't, whether or not finances, if you take finances out of the equation and you assess the person, like, who gives more in a relationship, who is more, present, who is more supportive. You don't know how much of that woman's life she has given away to just be a backbone for that man.
I don't think marriage and down and up you can even be in the same.
Yeah, you're meant to be at equal.
Yeah.
But you glad, right?
Yeah, because you're meeting at you're complementing each other in a bond. You're becoming a bond, so it doesn't matter if she's poorer or I'm poorer. You just get married.
But do you feel like some people do it subconsciously?
100%.
Yeah.
And it's even, I think it's even,
as well.
Some people are not brought up, but they are heavily influenced to look for men that are, the phrase is financially stable, financially capable of taking care of a household.
So you want to marry up.
But what they're trying to say is, really and truly, he's built his empire, or he's built his empire more than you have. But realistically, if we both come out of university at the same time, I'm not saying opportunities can't happen differently, but generally speaking, we both need that 5 years to grow. So if you're 5, 6, 7, 8 years older than me, it's more likely that you will have gone further along the line that I'm maybe potentially on, but you've just gone a little bit further along the line. So I can now step into that relationship and know, okay, he's going to cover the mortgage, he's going to cover the bills, because I'm still studying.
Mortgage, you want someone to cover your mortgage.
There are other things that influence it as well, like things like even if you guys are on the same path, men generally earn more than women anyways. So that's already an issue. So dealing with the wage gap that's already set in place just by economic standards, you now want to bring in, it's just
another job at 8.
You as a person, your beliefs stand for that point. Only because you want to be treated. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that. I said I want a Bonnie and Clyde relationship. I said you get it, I get it. Okay. So I feel like it should be more even. I feel like they should be like it should be like.
Unfortunately, it's unfortunate.
I feel it's about how useful the person is in that area. So if it's work, if the person's a better manager, whether it's male or female, they should get paid regarding how much.
But they don't.
How much?
That's what she said. Economical.
No, I know, but I'm saying.
But what you want the man to take all the financial responsibility.
That's a product
of
skewed balance.
Yeah.
He's saying a byproduct of the fact that men and women don't earn the same, even if they do the same.
Yeah.
The fact that men are more financially stable.
Yeah.
That's what you're feeding into by saying, I want my man to be.
So you can't say that.
So if you say, okay, make it even, that means you're willing to take the L of, we're gonna be even.
Is that what he's trying to say?
Yeah, that's what he's trying to say.
Last question that we want to do is, how do you feel about how far is too far when it comes to supporting your man, whether you're just in a relationship? There was actually an interesting topic on Twitter the other day. It was Imani, hi Imani, and she said that would you, if a guy you just started talking to asked you to pay for his phone bill, like would you?
No.
I feel like that question was a bit of a weird question. Like I just started talking to you, we're just getting to know each other, and then you're asking me to borrow me money for
Trust
your phone
me, I
bill.
won't even buy you back.
Like
I'll shoot up.
that's a bit weird. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not really normal. But like in a relationship or in a marriage, I feel like as a person, there's a very weird dynamic where you can become enabling and the person can become complacent with the whole financial thing.
If like my wife has to provide for a lot of stuff and I'm okay with it, it's just the concept of if I then stop what if I was making moves initially when we got together,
You got lazy.
and then I got lazy and she still provided for me, then if I get too lazy, that's me expecting that of her, whereas I should never expect anything from anybody.
I think that actually works both ways as well. Like, I know I am quite traditional in my views and stuff like that, but I think that it then becomes a problem if he does go through financial difficulties. I don't know whether you guys have had like aunties and uncles who originally their wives were so in love with them, with the man, and all of a sudden, they resent him because he's not providing the way he used to. Like he doesn't have it like that anymore.
If you've given, I personally like to think of it as giving selflessly. So what I mean by that is, I've just given it to you. You said alone, but I'm not thinking about it anymore. So if I get it back, that's a bonus. And I genuinely, like, if anyone has loaned money from me, when they give it, I'm like, oh, what's this for?
You've forgotten what it's about.
So it saves yourself that
it saves
getting
me,
left
because I
out.
don't like feeling that tight, like, oh wow, this person.
No, but I feel like that's why
You don't have to approach
I feel like that's why it's got me in trouble in the past before. It's like, it's not necessarily that I had the money, but I just gave it to you because you were in need. And the money was there, but it was for other things in the future. But then if it doesn't now come back, that's when I start getting hurt because, I need it now.
I think it's subjective, it's subjective as well, definitely.
And it also teaches you how to mature yourself, because you do need to get to a point, because giving is meant to be sacrificial. So you need to get to a point where you can give something that hurts, but you can actually let it go.
And with that, we're going to wrap up the video. Thank you guys so much for having this conversation with me. That was very insightful. And thank you guys so much for watching. You guys should definitely comment what you think about the Breadwinner and all the things that we discussed. Leave your comments down below. Make sure you like this video if you liked it. Share with your friends and also subscribe to my channel for more. Also, Abe's channel and also Josiah's channel. I will put everything in the description box down below. Until next time, peace and love. Peace and chunks.
Peace and chunks, baby.
So, Eunice, please, this is the main...
Lean back.
Lean back.
Okay, I'm serious now.
Okay.
I can't even believe you're on
She said you get it.
I'm so fitted.
You're an economic student, innit?
Oh my.
Yeah, and you didn't want to do you get it.
Yo! I'm a
I'm just gonna wait for...
It's my mom that she's a
My mom's like, really, so skinny.